For the Indian Act, I mean, this is a document that basically came out of Confederation, just a few years after Confederation. It is wildly outdated. And when I say you've called it apartheid, you're 100% right. When you look at, Nazi legislation, at South African apartheid legislation, and you look at the Indian Act, it's virtually, the differences between them are so minimal. It's just a difference of, one sort of heritage versus another. Indians in this country are forbidden from getting mortgages, from leasing cars. Even their last will and testament can be overturned by the government. This is truly racist law, and yet it exists on the books today. So if I understand you correctly, it's not just the reserve system that you'd be going after, it's the entire Indian Act, correct?
Well, what has really ignited this conversation for me is the discussion and the opposition we had with the current position that are talking about the missing and Aboriginal women. Yes. I used to be public safety minister, and I got this study from Commissioner Paulson, who clearly demonstrated that the cause of the problem comes from the violence, especially on remote communities, on remote reserves, where there's no economic base, and where the big problems are alcohol, unemployment, drug addiction. And this leads to, like every case where there's a violence committed toward women, it comes from someone that is close. In 70% of the cases, those murdered Aboriginal women, it was coming from someone very close from them. So these social structure are not helping First Nation to really fully enjoy, I would say, the Canadian way of living. And that's why we need to go over and have the courage as politicians to challenge the system and not just do other study that will provide the same result. We know the cause. The cause is unemployment, alcohol, and the economic base of First Nation, especially in remote areas where we need to tackle this challenge. And that's why I'm laying, and I want to engage with First Nation on a discussion based on three principles of accountability, transparency. If taxpayer are providing and giving money to First Nation, well, they ought to know how this money is spent. That's a principle of fairness. And we need fairness among each and every other Canadian while recognizing that First Nation have constitutional rights.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.